Hello, everybody. Another week, another dollar, another day. And I have Nina in to talk to me about her way in music and what she's up to. We shall be talking to Nina, finding out about the wonderful Brighton. We've had a few people from Brighton recently, and how she's setting the world alight straight after this.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Nina, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. I am absolutely fine. Tell me, is Brighton a great place for you making music?
I mean, it's definitely the place to be, I think.
It's
Yeah.
the place to be. Why is
Yeah.
that? Is it what is it about Brighton that's so
Um,
vibrant, cool, creative?
yeah, exactly. It's just full of creative people. I mean, you see them everywhere. There's everywhere you look, there's someone making music or doing art or, doing something cool and creative.
I
It's like
it.
the London on the beach, but with way more like creative, outgoing people, I think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Now listen, I thought your social media was quite interesting. I always like, it's a bit for me. Looking through people's social media is almost a bit like looking through their record collection when I go to their house. I'm quite nosy like that. I don't know. Do you do that? If you go to someone's house, do you
Yeah,
when they go
definitely.
out to the kitchen to make a cup of tea, you flick through their record collection?
Yeah, I
What
get
do what
very
do
jealous.
yeah? What do you think your Instagram, for example, says about you? Because do you know what I think it's quite interesting because it doesn't necessarily follow the lines of a normal young musician on Instagram, right? Which I think's good. I think actually it's quite refreshing. But you don't look as though you're trying to necessarily tout being a musician. You look as though you're trying to just let us into your everyday life a little bit, which is good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I considered making a new Instagram for my music, but I don't know. I wanted it to be a part of me and my everyday life, like because I do music, but it's not the only thing that I do,
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
so and I do struggle with social media, like with that question and other questions like what to post, does it fit in? But I just got to a point where I was like, I need to like stop caring so much and just put out what I want to put out, and I don't know, just be me, Yeah.
Do you know what? I think that's a really sensible way of looking at it. You know, and for anybody that's out there, if you haven't come across Nina's Instagram, for example, at the moment, it gives us a lovely insight into her with things like this. Here we are. Look at that. So who's that? That's
That's my dog.
that's your dog. What a what a beautiful dog that is. You see?
She is, and I just wanted her to be on there where I can see her as well when I go on Instagram.
Yeah, exactly. But I like that. I like it when artists like open the door a little bit and just go, do you know what? I'm just going to be me on social media. And then if people like me, that's great. If they don't like me, well, that's up to them. Because do you, especially like, studying music and stuff at university and whatever, and whether you learn the business side of it or not, you can't help but kind of be, hear what you're meant to be doing on social media. Do you think it's almost like too prescribed these days?
Sorry, what?
Do you feel like it's almost too prescribed these days in terms of what you're meant to be doing on social
Yeah,
media?
I mean, if I was doing what I'd meant to be doing, then you'd be seeing a video of me lip syncing my song every day. But I mean, I do that every now and then, but I don't want it to be the only thing that I do because it makes me bored of it. And like, I don't know. I don't know what people want to see, but I'm putting out whatever I want, and then I can see how people react to that, and then
Yeah.
continue from there if I want to.
Yeah. How do people react to you on social media? What sort of feedback do you get? What are you building a community? Do you feel like you are
Mm,
actually touching people at the moment and like getting that kind of interaction and feedback, or is it
I feel like I could do better.
right?
Like I'm not as frequent of a poster as I would like to be. But I mean, social media runs our lives these days pretty much, and I kind of wish it didn't, but as an artist, I have to lean into it. So I do struggle with it sometimes, but yeah, I try and be frequent with it, but you know, it's life gets in the way. Sometimes I'm not, but yeah, I mean, my family and my friends and everyone around me like what I post, and then like
Mm.
get some interactions from people I've never met. Like you interacted with me, I don't know you, so I feel like it's doing well, but I could do better. Yeah.
I feel like some of your lyrics actually talk about social media, whether they're deliberately talking about social media or not. Would you say that's fair?
Um, I think maybe without me noticing. I mean, I definitely do speak about it. Maybe not in the ones that are out. Some of them do a little bit. I touch on it, but
Yeah.
it's not generally focused on that. But I do think that it's such a big part of everyone's lives these days that you know it's good to touch on these things. It's
Well, I think if you're talking about relationships, full stop, you're probably going to touch on it anyway, aren't you? Just
yeah,
because
yeah,
kind of there's an aspect of relationships these days which is almost confusing to all of us because it's not necessary. Not relationships just don't happen in sort of like face to face these days.
yeah,
No relationship does, right? Everybody like has a relationship with people face to face,
yeah,
but also online and then also via texting and everything else. And
yeah. I wouldn't be able to keep in touch with my friends if it wasn't. You know, I would never speak to them because most of it is on social media because they live far away or you know, it does keep us connected.
yeah, do you think that's a bit odd as well? Like we have this, we like years ago, I knew everybody in my street. Nowadays, I know,
Yeah,
well, occasionally talk to a few people up the road, but generally, I don't really know any of the neighbours. And yet, you talk to
yeah,
people that are on the other side of the world. It's kind of weird that we've kind of created this macrocosm rather than a microcosm, and we
yeah.
almost don't kind of know anybody that's like in our near vicinity.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I didn't even meet the other people living in my building for ages. Like I'd moved in for 3 months and I hadn't even seen a single person that also lived there. It was weird. But
Yeah.
yeah.
What drives you to write music?
Our crazy world.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Yeah, our
What what
crazy
what
world and our crazy lives.
what do you find the most crazy about it?
Oh, there's
What's
just
driving you crazy as of today? Go on. What's
everything. There's so much going on all the time. I can never keep track of it. And I mean, I like to keep in the loop, but it also makes me sad doing so often, you
yeah.
know. But
Would you
yeah,
say you're a political person at all? Would you do you do you follow politics, or do you like? I mean, do you deliberately try and watch the news and keep up with the news, or do you find it's just too much and you actually have to turn it off?
I don't really watch the news, but I do. I mean, I read the news and I keep in the loop. Like my family is talking about the news constantly, but I don't myself properly delve into it. I mean, sometimes yeah, on social media I do, and I look at all the devastating things that are happening, but I do have to just stop myself a little bit because yeah, it's too much. I mean, I wish I could do something about it, you know, but I can't, and so that makes me feel a bit useless. So I just, do you know what I mean?
Oh
Like
no, totally what you mean.
I
I
just feel like I'm constantly watching, and I don't really want to watch all the time, you know?
That's an interesting one. Do you feel like we're all just voyeurs these days? Are we? Are we kind of like just watching everything unfurl, but not really necessarily in a space where we can actually do it? As you, I think you just said, you know, we're in a
Yeah.
space where you're not actually able to do anything about it. I loved growing up when I grew up because I think that there was complete naivety, and I think the
Yeah.
naivety was really special, right? Growing up, you know, at a time when we did things like Live Aid, for example, right?
Mm.
You've probably seen it. It was a fairly big concert, you know.
Yeah.
Live Aid and Band Aid and all of that came out and all of that. But we thought through music and through sort of rock and roll and everything, we would change the world. And we genuinely believed that we could actually save people and we could like make a difference and whatever. And then I think over time we all became, especially with the birth of the internet, we realized just how big the problem was, because we didn't really understand how big the problem was, right? And I think one of the things that the internet's done for us, yes, it's connected us all globally, but it's also made us realize just how absolutely enormous the problems are.
Yeah.
And we've suddenly like gone, we can't really do anything about this. And there's almost a kind of infinite sadness and melancholy that goes with that, which is that, and I wonder what young musicians like you now actually feel like. Where do you look to think, oh, I can make a difference? Where do you feel like I can do something in all of this? Where can my art make a difference? Is it on a more localized level, because that's where you've got more control? Or
Yeah, I mean, I do think you can help the people around you, like whoever's watching you and listening to you. You can help them by sort of guiding them, giving them advice, or, you know, helping them through your music, you know, making them feel like they're not alone. Like there's a wide scale of problems in the world today, but I mean, that's one way of helping. But also I think, you know, gigs and raising money. I mean, but again, there's loads of people doing that, and it feels like it's never going to be enough to help to fix the problem. At least from my perspective, it feels like it's, you know, we're always doing that and we seem to never solve the problem anyway. Sorry, that sounds really depressing, but yeah,
no, but it's kind of a reality. But so what then is it that sparks you, right? You're interested by this crazy, stupid world in which we live in, but it has beauty and stuff as well, right? Yeah. So what is it that would then motivate you to go, right, today I'm gonna do this or put this out there?
I mean, as much as there's so much bad stuff happening in the world, it is still a beautiful world. You know, there's so much love and life and creativity and beauty.
And dogs, don't forget dogs.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It just inspires me. You know, every day something can happen that just shifts your perspective, or you think, oh wow, that's beautiful, or that was nice, and you know, you want to share that with the world, and I want to share that with the world.
And I was bringing this back round to your social media, you see. So, you know, I think maybe that's where it works, right? Because, you know, you see a picture of, you see your dog smiling and you think, I'm going to share that with my dog, share that with the world, right? My dog smiling, or some pictures of some trees or some flowers or some, you know, a lovely spot of beauty or whatever, or a picture of the ocean or something. I think sometimes that's just what we need. That's just what all of us need, is just kind of reminders of some of the wonderful stuff in the world, you know?
I mean, it's what I need. Like, you know, seeing a beautiful place or being at the sea, you know, it makes you just look at the beauty in front of you and think and feel, and then for me, I write, you know. It happens in those like moments of stillness and silence when you're just watching the world go by, but not kind of involving yourself in it in that moment. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes total sense. Where's your favorite spot to write or to be inspired or to?
I used to, when I first started writing music, I used to go to the woods with my dog, that dog.
Ooh.
And I found like, I used to call it my secret place.
Love that.
And it was just like a place off the path. And then when you got into it, it was like a grove of trees, and like you would sit underneath it and be sheltered by the trees. And I'd go there with my dog, and she'd hunt around for things, and I would just sit on a tree and write my music. So that was my favorite place, but it's definitely changed over the years. Right now, probably just the beach in Brighton, you know.
Love
It's just
that.
a place where you have some serene, you know, serenity and nature around you, and that, yeah, that helps me.
I think you should write a song called My Secret Place at some point.
Yeah, I
Sort of-
should actually.
Yeah, and just kind
Yeah.
of kind of retell the story of where your music came from. That would be
Yeah.
nice.
Birds chirping in the background. That'd be nice.
But birds chirping, your this little secret place. Someone could illustrate it and make it into a children's book. I think it'd be lovely.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we could have it. Well, it happens. You know, it absolutely happens. We had one artist on who from America, and you know, she wrote this song, and then somebody else picked it up and illustrated it and turned it into a children's book. And she's did quite well with it. Yeah, Anne Buckley, who's up there on the board somewhere. But yeah, she that happened for her. You don't know. Maybe it could happen for you as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I can hear the birds. I can hear the birds. Is that do you have that on tap? Is that you can just turn that off and on? That's
I'm sat by the window. Yeah. I was recording a song in here the other day, and I could actually hear them in the background. I was like, oh God. I mean, as much as it's beautiful, I don't really want that in the recording.
Well, it depends, doesn't it? I mean, if you want field sound, then that's a great thing. Yeah.
It was the song for it.
Have you ever left any accidental sound or thing in a song that you've written at all? Has any sound ever crept in and you've just gone, oh, do you know what? Happy accident. I'll leave that in.
No, I don't think so. I mean, other than the occasional, like, you know, when your mic caps or, you know, little blip, you know, by accident, or the producers just not noticed it. Other than that, no. But I would like to. I think it would be nice to like maybe open a song with the birds chirping. I think I've heard some songs do that before, or like trees rustling. I don't know. Yeah.
The sounds of nature. Perhaps, or you should go to the beach maybe and just record like the sounds of the waves and or something like that. You know, you could incorporate that in. What haven't we heard from you yet that we might hear from you in the future?
Lots. Lots and lots.
Sound wise, is there anything new sound wise that you haven't explored yet that you might treat us to at some point?
To be honest, I have this habit of just continuously writing songs and working on many things at once. So there are lots and lots of things that are coming and are pretty much finished that need to be put up. But yeah, I mean,
kind of like more jazzy songs and more poppy songs, etc. We're not going to get a heavy metal song out of you anytime soon. But I don't know. I mean, would you sort of like, you know, move into something a bit more alt rock, or would you ever do something with distortion on your voice, or where's the sort of limit to where you would go?
I don't really have a limit. I mean, as you can probably see from my music, I'm still kind of, you know, I'm testing out the genres. I'm moving in between them, and it's because I like a lot of different types of music. So I, for a while, kind of was moving into wanting to do more rock, more like indie stuff. And I would like to lean into it more, like, you know, like Neve Ella, people like that, where it's like poppy, but a little bit rocky as well, you know, indie. But I do also like the jazzy, funky R&B sort of smooth.
And you've got
stuff.
the voice for it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's probably, it is where it's leaning towards, but I'm definitely still testing the waters. And like, rather than just, you know, being like, this is my genre and I'm going to work on this genre, I can't do that. I like too many things. I've already started making 5 different songs in different genres, so I'm gonna continue them, put them out, see what people like, and then I'm just gonna make what I like, you know.
Of course
I
you are. Of
probably
course
should
you are.
stick to a genre, but
No, don't. That's
yeah,
boring. Don't do it.
being different.
Don't do it. What's on your playlist at the moment? What are you listening to right now?
Oh, I listen to a lot of different stuff. I mean, I love like Aussie music, so like Ocean Alley and Khruangbin and Tom Misch and things like that. But yeah, Nivella, I love Olivia Dean, um, Inhaler, so many.
Wow,
Yeah, I
that's
listen to
quite
quite a lot of different music, but
that's quite
there's
varied.
so much good music out there, so you know.
Yeah, I just wondered whether there was like a album that you'd like happened upon that was just like, oh,
Um,
I can't put that one down at the moment, sort of.
the one thing that I always go back to is, I don't know if you've heard of Got Street Park.
Mm.
Yeah, so you know their album with all the different artists, the vocalists on them. Oh, I love it. And Olive Jones, Pip Millett on them. Just that style, that is lush. I love it. Yeah, I listen to that all the time.
Would you like to appear on an album like that yourself? Would you? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no, you could see in the face. It was like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
Olive Jones is a big inspiration for me at the moment, at least. Just because of the music that she makes, but also being on that album as well. That's how I found her. But yeah, I would love to do that. That would be amazing.
It's
Yeah.
the way. It's the best way. It's the best way. Are you finding it easy to like find producers and people like that that want to collaborate in the Brighton area? Are you how open are you to sort of like if people come up to you and go, oh, I've got an idea for this, I'd love to collaborate, or do you think, oh yeah, but I've got a project and I want to do what I'm doing, and because it's
I'm
hard, isn't it?
and I mean, it's other people probably wouldn't do it, but I'm working with 3 producers at the moment on different projects. One of them is kind of like my free spirited thing where I just like go and we do whatever I want. And yeah, it's really chill. And then another one, I just sent him a song and he's doing that. And then another one, I was doing some sync work with him on some EDM stuff actually, which I
Wow.
haven't dabbled in yet, but I'm dabbling in now.
Yes.
Yeah, so if someone came up to me and said, do you want to do this with me? I'd do it 100%. Like, I'm always open to collaborating with people. I just think I really do love collaborating with people because it's just 2 people's artistry meshing, you know. There's so much more ideas and creativity, and yeah, it's just, you never know what you're going to get.
It expands your mind, doesn't it? It expands what you
Yeah,
can do. Yeah, it takes
yeah,
you off into different possibilities, and you know, I'm always surprised when people go, well, yeah, no, I'll just keep in my lane. But
yeah.
I'll
get in my lane eventually, but not now.
I'll get in my lane when I've decided what my lane is.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What's the great ambition for you? Where do you want this all to end up?
I mean, I do want it to continue, and I don't really know.
You want more flowers in your room?
Yeah, see them right there. I actually have another set right over there, but you can't see them.
You see,
yeah.
if it all works out, you could have a whole florist.
Yeah, I could be a florist, Olivia Dean. Yeah, no, I want to be an artist, and I want to be on the stage and singing my songs. That is the dream. Eventually, I don't want to rush it. I want to take my time and figure out who I am and how that connects to my music, and you know, where all the avenues that I can take it, I want to explore before I fully establish myself as I am this, because I don't actually know what I am yet. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, you've got to enjoy the journey as well.
I do. I'm enjoying it.
That's the important thing, really.
Yeah.
You know, and Brighton is a great place for that. For a
It
start, the coffee shops and the ice cream, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Despite anything else. So there we go. And also, Brighton's got a really great sort of club scene as well.
Yeah.
How often do you have you looked at that as well? Have you looked about trying to get your music sort of like club mixed as well, so that it's like, you know, ends up on
Um,
the dance floor?
that is something that I have explored. Yeah, I was talking to it's actually my brother's friend from Australia before. He is a DJ and he wanted to take one of my songs and remix it. I actually can't remember what song it was. I think it's an unreleased one actually. But I made like this sort of trance track in uni, and I really did love it, but it wasn't produced very well. So I would like to actually recreate it at some point and get it out, and I might get back in touch with him. I think we just
You see,
we're so busy.
what we're doing today is we're opening back up the opportunities, etc.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're watching this and you're sort of in the Brighton area and you're now introduced to Nina, and you go off and you hear her voice and you think, oh, super, yeah, I can really do something with that. Just get in touch. She's completely open to, if we could create the dance hit of the summer, that would be marvelous.
That would be marvelous.
She won't mind.
I won't
Nobody will mind.
no.
You might end up having to do a little bit of stint over in Ibiza or somewhere, just a bit of promo to do it. Well, worse things have happened.
Definitely.
It could be could be a lot worse.
Hmm.
Thank you so much for coming on and talking to us today. If people were to be able to help you now, what would you like the people that are listening to do for you as of today? What if they've they've watched this and they've gone, right, okay, what can we do for Nina now? How would you like them to help?
I think, getting on my socials or anything like that, or having a listen and then giving me your opinion, your feedback. I'm always up for feedback. I want to know what people want to hear. I want to know what people think. I do really appreciate it when people contact me and just tell me, oh, I heard your song and la la. It really inspires me. Like, I had someone talk to me I went on a TikTok live stream the other day, and they came on and said that Fade Away, one of my songs, was their favorite song. They had found me on TikTok from it, and now they love me. And he stayed on the live for an hour and a half. We played the song for him, and he was typing the lyrics in the chat. But we're now actually making a new version of it because that inspired me to do it. We're making a reimagined acoustic version of that song. So
see, that's a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. That is what life is all about.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it, actually.
That is what life is all about. That and flowers and the sound of birds cheeping and your dog, whose name is what? What's your dog's name?
Lynxie.
Lynxie.
Yeah, Lynxie. Very peculiar name, but
my mum wanted it. Lynxie's a beautiful animal, and I'm sure all of us out there can celebrate dogs. It was my dog's birthday this weekend.
Oh,
Trooper, little Trooper, our sausage dog, was 8 years old.
Oh, I want a sausage.
And everybody, well, you say that, right? But no. But what I have to tell you is, once you have a sausage dog, I don't know what it's like with your dog, but once you have a sausage dog, whenever you go to the beach, because we're near a beach, we're not near Brighton Beach, but we're in the southwest, and we have a beach not too far from us. Whenever you go to the beach, your time is not your own when you take a sausage dog, right? Because everybody wants to stop and stroke them. Absolutely everybody. So it's like literally you walk about 5 yards and then it's like another person saying, "Can I just stroke them?" And you're just like, "Yeah, of course you can," but it means you never get anywhere.
Yeah. My dog likes to try and herd the waves, so
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
no.
she's more
Sausage
poly, so
dogs. Sausage dogs don't like swimming particularly.
she
You
doesn't
know,
want to
it's
swim. She just wants to herd them. She tries to bite the
like
waves. Yeah, like
bite
she
the
wants to
waves.
herd them like they're sheep. It's so funny.
Do you
But
know
she
what?
never
You
gets
you
it.
just keep coming up with great song titles. Herd the waves. Think about that. Herd the waves. That
Yeah.
would be that's a song title right there. It's just something about sort of like, trying to control the uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Get my
that.
dog to bark in the background on it.
It's very, very creative. We always have creative ideas on this show. That's what it's all about. We stimulate
Mm,
people's mental capacity to do more, you know,
mm.
and the people that listen are, fortunately, we have a very discerning listenership who are quite creative as well. Listen, folks, this has been the wonderful Nina. I hope you've enjoyed this conversation with Nina. I know it's short, I know it's brief, but that's the whole point. You now have to go and do your homework. You now need to go and listen to Nina. Listen to some of her music. We should be adding some of her music to the My Music podcast playlist to make it easier for you to find. But if you enjoy what Nina puts out, please do stop and let her know. And one day she's going to be famous one day very soon, when one of you gets in touch and you make the song of the summer, right? We'll all be dancing to it wherever we are. Nina, thank you so much for stopping by to talk music with us today. It's been an
Thank you for
absolute
having me.
pleasure, and thank you for sharing. Folks, this has been another My Music. If you've enjoyed this, please do like, share, all of those things. Press the buttons that you have to. And if you want to talk to people like Nina, there's now a whole community. We should be inviting Nina into it later today. Called the My Music Podcast Community, and you can join that as well. The links are at mymusicpodcast.com. I think we've got about 60 people in there already, lots of artists already in there doing their thing, and some of them monetizing their community because every little helps, or as somebody once said, and it certainly wasn't Spotify. We will be back soon with another one of these. Until then, from Nina and myself, bye for now.